Welcome to the Opportunities EJD MEXT Scholarship webinar. Like we named it, we said it's MEXT Scholarship 2027 updates, because last year we did a very comprehensive event where we talked about the nuances of the MEXT Scholarship, and it was such a nice time sharing with everybody. Thankfully, our efforts yielded results. And our speaker today was one of the people who applied last year, and we have her with us here in Japan already. So by next year, it could be you coming up to do this. And I particularly like the idea of a recent scholar, doing most of the talking today, because for me, I'm a 2017 MEXT Scholar. That's 9 years ago. Thankfully, we also have one of our speakers last year here. That is Olaumi Abayomi, who is a PhD student in Yokohama National University. He's been very helpful since he came to. He's been paying it forward, helping others to come to Japan, get on the MEXT Scholarship, and all of that. So, of course, we are going to have words from these experienced people today. So, if I may do this, I want to hear from the. I'll just pick some people randomly to have some sound bites about what you know about MEXT Scholarship and what your expectations will be for today's event. I start with the very first person that came in. That is Adeola Ajibosho. Do you want to tell us something? What do you know about MEXT Scholarship? How did you hear about this event? And what are your expectations today?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good
afternoon. Okay.
Yep.
MEXT Scholarship is a Japanese government scholarship, and it's a fully funded program covering tuition fee and monthly stipend. It's available across undergraduate, masters, and PhD. And I got to know about this program on X. I saw the link, so I registered, and I'm looking forward to learn how to position my application right for the 2026 scholarship. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that will be if you apply in 2026, you'll be a 2027 scholar. So I mean, I bet you're in the perfect place for you. Then let me see. I think Oji Josiah was also he came in quite early. Josiah, do you want to tell us something?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Happy to actually be one of your students in FUTA.
Lovely. Lovely. Yeah. Some love for you.
Thank you very much. I've not really done enough background research on MEXT, but I've been hearing about it, so I hope to get more information about it. Meeting, yes. I don't really know much about it.
Okay, you are in the perfect place. You are actually in the perfect place. Welcome, EJD David. I like your name. What's up?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, you're literally the salt of the earth.
Oh, no, last year I wanted to apply for MEXT. I did a little background research, but my transcript didn't come out early, so we go again this year. So,
and that's exactly the spirit for scholarships. We go again this year. Please go ahead.
So what I know about MEXT is it's a Japanese government funded scholarship. Basically, I don't know. They give you 1,444. If you read the application documents,
you won't know the amount.
They give you around 44,000 yen per year. This, that. So basically, based on your study plan and all, there are 3 stages. This first application stage, then there's the exam stage, then there's the interview stage, and basically, why I'm here today is because there's this new document that was added. I think it's checklist documents. On that document, there's an information there that they said submit your certificate provided the photocopy of a certificate provided it is signed by a university official, which kind of goes against the notary signature, this thing that we are kind of used to. So I'm not trying to ask that. Are we supposed to do both, or is it just like the initial signature that has been on the certificate, or is like you want us to get another information?
Nice, no problem. That's exactly why we are here. So I'm sure by the time we are done, by the time our scholar is through with you, you'll be in order. So just take a bottle of a cold something you like to drink and follow carefully. Okay, Abdul Kadir Sadiq, you have a question. Your hand is up. Do you want to say something?
Yes, thank you so much. Good
Welcome.
evening or afternoon, wherever you are. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon to you. I suspect you're in Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm in Indonesia. I'm close to you.
Indonesia. Okay, we are almost the same. We are very close by.
Yes. Now
Nice.
it's 8 p.m. here.
Okay, it's 10 p.m. here, so you are we are 2 hours ahead.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. Actually, my question is that I want to know today's webinar, is it going to be about the MEXT Scholarship? Like, because I read that it has 2 types. There is a university recommendation and there is embassy recommendation. So is it going to like cover both, or is
it's
just
going to cover everything? That's all. We always do that. It always covers everything. So always covers. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I will stay tuned. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome to the right place. Okay.
All
right. Yeah. So okay, maybe I can take more people. Maybe I'll still in the next 3 minutes. We'll keep sampling your ideas. Yeah. I have a new friend in the house. 62180. What's up? Do you want to tell us something about how you got here?
Okay. Good day, everyone.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. My name is Sixus. Yeah. I got a recommendation from my uncle.
Interesting.
And I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Nice. All right. So welcome to this place. Let me see. Okay, Adelusi Adeola, do you want to talk to us? Okay, if she's not available, what about Akindele Adeni? Akindele Adeni, are you there? Okay. What about my guy Amefule rather, Chukwemeka? What's up?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Welcome. It's like you've been looking forward to this day.
I know, right? Yeah, it's been exciting. I mean, listening to you talk about your experience and some of the things that we should look forward to. I'm just here to get it on.
Yeah, very, very important. I'm sure you are basically here to fill in some gaps because I trust you already have a lot of information about MEXT already.
Yeah, by God's grace, we have.
Yeah.
We're just looking for luck and more information to help us position ourselves better.
Nice. All right. So there's Adedipe Adedamola. That's another guy of mine. This guy, this year is your year. Do you want to talk to us? Yeah. This year must be a year. So tell me something. What are you looking forward to? Are you really doing it this time around?
I can't hear, sir.
Okay, I said, what are your expectations today? What would you like to experience? I'm looking for my headset. I'm wondering where it is. Yeah, so what exactly are you going to do differently this time around?
I'm actually trying to at least learn 1 or 2 from those that want it ahead. So
okay,
I'm open to learning today.
very important. Yeah, so good to have you here. Yeah, it's 10 minutes past 10 o'clock here. I know that's 10 minutes past. Yeah, thank you. That's 10 minutes past 10 in past 8 in Indonesia and 10 minutes past 2 in Nigeria. So you should trust that you are in good hands for sure. Maybe before we go on, can I hear something from? Okay, well, we are going to hear from him a lot. That's Olawumi Abayomi. So be sure you are going to hear everything you need to know today. By the time you are done here, you'll be ready for the MEXT Scholarship. So at this point, let me introduce our speaker. Her name is Osijinore Achor. I know I'm not doing justice to that name, right? I think I know it's something like Osijinore or something like that. Maybe Osijinore is more like it's Achor. And guess what? We met like 50 weeks ago for the first time ever. She sent a random message to me on Instagram. Instagram is not one of my best social media platforms, but most of the times when I post on Facebook, it automatically goes to Instagram. So she just sent this message, hoping I would answer or not, and I just answered her. And from there, she joined our community, and then she'd been wondering about the whole. She actually saw me on another platform where I talked about MEXT, and as we speak, she joined us like maybe like 1.5 months ago or 2 months ago, and it's been a nice time meeting her, knowing her, and everything. And we also like the fact that she's been passionate about giving back. She's been passionate about guiding others too. Then just like I've been mentioning Abayomi a lot, right? Since it came to, I can count a number of people. Like he was also very active in guiding others that have been coming, and that's how we do it, right? Once you get an opportunity, you don't burn the bridge. You put down the ladder for others to climb, so that the more the merrier. And so today we have her. She had a bachelor's degree from the Ahmadu Bello University in animal science. She had a first class, and she did a master's degree in Ahmadu Bello University also. Most times when we are talking, I just see many similarities in our stories. She had a bachelor's and master's degree in ABU, and I had my bachelor's and master's degree in FUTA before I finally came to Tohoku University, where she has come to also. She came here. Okay, let me not go into yeah. So she you can be sure she's ready for you today. Can you make welcome with your best emoji, Osijinore Achor, for MEXT Scholar 2026 for this webinar today on MEXT Scholarship 2027 updates. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you so much for doing this. We are very grateful.
Thank you so much. So good evening, everyone. I already said that. And you're very welcome to this webinar. I particularly feel and think that this is usually the first step to, having that dream life that you want. Actually going for information and actually sitting through it. So before we start, I really would like to encourage that if you are here, just be here. Like anything that will steal your attention away, like try as much as possible to get away from that and then just concentrate. And because we have so much to do today, I would not really like spend much time in plenty stories, because we have a lot to cover. The MEXT Scholarship, it's broad, like even from the guidelines, for those of you that have been able to see the guidelines online, you will see how lengthy it is. I think it's about 12 pages or so. So you would know that like there is a lot for you to, really concentrate on and really get. So I will quickly share my screen and then you just let me know if you can see my screen. So I am sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen, please?
Yes, we see it.
Great. So as I said, welcome once again to the MEXT Scholarship webinar, and I am Achor Osijinore Esther, but I go by Coach Osijinore. And I think Doc will also maybe help me to maybe drop my YouTube link and my TikTok link, but that's just what I go by. And Coach, because I teach how to, how you can just make your life better from what you were doing and how you can get results. So quickly, let's start. What is the MEXT Scholarship? By way of introduction, it is short for this thing. I'm not going to pronounce it because I don't want to bite my tongue. I think Mombukagakusho. It's a Japanese government scholarship program that is designed to bring international students to Japan. So what I want you to do is think of MEXT Scholarship as Japan's way of investing in talent from around the world. In this webinar, I will not go so much into anything that has been, detailed in the guidelines. I'm just going to go straight to applications and what you need to look out for. So, but before we do that, let's talk about the embassy and the university route. So the MEXT Scholarship actually has embassy and it has university route. For the embassy route, I just give a brief of what it is, like on my slide, but I'm going to explain it. So for the embassy route, what it usually entails is that you prepare your documents. Like when the announcement comes out, as it has already come out, you will go to the site, download the documents, and then prepare your documents. When you prepare your documents, usually the next line of action is to submit those documents. Now, when you submit the documents, the first screening will happen. And the first screening is usually the document screening. So when you submit, and the good thing about it is that you don't have to travel all the way to Abuja. If you're in Nigeria, you would usually submit it in Nigeria, the Embassy of Japan in Nigeria, which is in Abuja. But usually you don't really need to go all the way to the embassy. You could always just send a courier service that you trust. Or if you have a friend in Abuja, then you can waybill it there, and then your friend helps you to submit it to the embassy. Now, when and if you're successful from the first screening, you would receive an email inviting you for the exam. You will receive an email inviting you for the exam, and this is called, it's all part of the screening. So you will write an exam. After you write the exam, if you pass the exam, you will then be called for an interview. And then when you call for an interview and you make it after the interview, then you then request for a letter of provisional acceptance. A letter of provisional acceptance. And this is done by the embassy will provide you like a list of universities in, I'm going to go, because today I'm going to actually be detailing so much on the embassy route, because that is the application that is open now. So I'm going to really talk in depthly on it. So some of these processes, I would discuss them. So I'm just giving you a rundown of what it actually looks like. So you request for the letter of provisional acceptance. When you request for that, then you will submit the letter of acceptance to the embassy. When you submit it to the embassy, then there will be one long waiting period. I think the waiting period is usually from September, October, and you will not hear anything till like January, February of the next year. And that will be when you get your award letter. And so that is the rundown of the embassy recommendation route. Now, the second one, which is the university recommendation route, it's not too different in the sense of like the things that are required, the documents that are required are still, the documents required for the embassy recommendation are still the documents required for the university recommendation. However, the process is a little different. So this time around, you will need to secure a professor in Japan first for the university recommendation. Like you will need to send a cold email, and that's like a totally different ball game. But you will need to send like a cold email to a professor of your interest, maybe that's in your research interest. And when you send that cold email, you get the professor to be interested in what you're doing. Now, if the professor is interested in what you're doing, he himself will guide you in the process. Usually, they will guide you in the process in the sense that he will either tell you, either link you up to where you can get the application documents, because you will need to also submit an application. He will either link you there, or some of them are even nice to send you the application form and guide you on how to do it. So when you do that, after the application, you will usually attend an interview. Sometimes just the professor will do the interview. Sometimes it will be from on the faculty level, because this is the whole university recommending you to MEXT. This is not just about like just a department or a faculty, unlike the embassy recommendation. So for the embassy recommendation, Sometimes it's just within the department or within the faculty. Your lecturer, the professor you send a message to, or the school of postgraduate school you sent a message to are interested, and then they find a way to do an interview, and then you go. But for this time around, the university has to sit on the issue, because it's more like, let's use, for example, Afe Babalola University wants to recommend some students to MEXT. Sometimes some of these universities have just maybe 2 slots, 3 slots to recommend students. So it's like everybody that has spoken to a professor would be put under that scale, you know, and then sometimes they select just 2 or 3 people. So you would attend an interview and then you wait. And then after that, you will receive information concerning the interview outcome. When you receive the information concerning the interview outcome, they will tell you that they have recommended you to MEXT. And so the next thing you will need to wait for is your award letter. And that's basically the university route. So now, somebody already mentioned, I think the amount of yen that you're going to be paid. It's already in the guidelines. So as I said, I'm not going to like be detailing some of those things. However, you will need to know that the benefits of the MEXT scholarship, whether it's the university route or the embassy route, you will have free tuition. So everything that has to do with your tuition, your entrance exam, and all those things, it comes free. Then you will be given a monthly stipend. You'll be given a monthly stipend every month for as long as you're a MEXT scholar. The third thing is that your airfare tickets, to and fro, will be taken care of. So when you're going, it will be taken care of. And when you're coming back, it will also be taken care of. Now, the last benefit also is that for most schools, especially when you come into the term in April, you have the opportunity to be enrolled in the Japanese language training, which is very important. Like, I would really advise that anybody coming should opt for this option. It would really help you big time with settling, you know, and just finding your way in Japan. Now let's go straight into very important things that we need to do. Now, I would want to talk about the required documents. And the first one is the application form. Before I talk about the application form, there's one thing I need everybody on this webinar to do. If you're interested in the MEXT Scholarship 2027, the first thing you need to do, and I want everybody to do that, I need you to go to the site and download the guidelines. When you download that guidelines, don't read it on your phone. Don't read it on your laptop. I want you to print it out. I know this is a digital age, but I just feel like some things get lost because the font size could be too small. Your phone the phone screen might not be as wide as possible. So I need you to download that form. Take a piece of paper, take your biro, and as you are reading it, be taking notes, be underlining, be highlighting, just make sure you digest that guideline before you start anything, because it's very, very important. So that being said, the first document you will need is the application form, and this can be found also on the site of your country. Wherever the announcement was made, it will be on the site. So the first thing you will want to do with that application form, I need you to go to your browser and type, I love PDF. Yeah, that's it. I love PDF. Maybe we would put that link on how to download, how to convert documents. Maybe we will link it in the group if you're on the group chat. But you will type I love PDF, and then you select it because the form is in a PDF form, and then you're going to convert it to a Word document. Now, when you convert it to a Word document, the next thing you're going to do is to change your font size to MSP Gothic, font type rather, to MSP Gothic, and then pick an eligible font size before you start filling it. I know that on the guideline, it was said that you can download and fill maybe biro. Please don't do that, please. Please try as much as possible to convert the documents and fill it with Word. When you're done doing that, then you convert it back to PDF before you print it. Now, another thing you will need to do with your application form is review, and review again. If it's possible to get a third eye to help you review your documents, please do that. Make sure everything you're writing is, you know, very clear, and the language you're using in maybe especially the motivation part of your form is very, very coherent, and the grammar points are correct. Now, another thing that is very important with this application form is that I noticed that before the application was announced, especially like maybe in Nigeria or any other place, before it officially got announced, some persons had already downloaded it. And this is also for people that were also here last year, possibly. Maybe you have a form that you used last year. Please don't use that same form this year. You need to download the one on the form and make sure you put 2027 written at the top of the form. So make sure any form you're filling has 2027 at the top of it. So there is a part of your application form that I really need you to concentrate on, and that is what I'm going to talk about now. And it is your MEXT motivation. It's number 19 of the MEXT application. There's, I think, 19.1, 19.2, and 19.3. And that is what I'm going to talk about right now. The first question is, what was the trigger for having an interest in Japan? What was the trigger for having an interest in Japan? And what I said here is that you would need to briefly explain what first sparked your interest in Japan, then quickly connect that trigger to your research team. Say something specific you value about Japan. It could be an approach, a technology, a cultural strength, and then explain why learning it will matter to both you and your country. Make sure this is short and focused, and make sure the connection to your research is very obvious. Please, I don't want anybody coming to write something about how they love manga and how they've been reading manga books. And it's not bad if that is what sparked your interest, but let that just be one line. Oh, I got my interest got sparked in my interest in Japan was sparked by manga, and then after manga I then, you know, but it should be something that is research focused, or it has to do with something that you want to become, or what you want to embody, or what you want to learn in Japan. Now, the second thing, or the second question is, why do you choose Japan as a destination to study graduate level education? Why do you choose Japan as a destination to study graduate level education? Now, this is your chance to show you did your homework. Don't praise Japan vaguely. You know how you say, oh, Japan is technologically...
just a minute.
Okay.
Could you please click on hide on that screen so that it's been covering some part? Yeah.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you so much.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
So I said this is your chance to show that you did your homework. Don't do like vague praising. Oh, they have high-rise buildings, they are technologically advanced, and you know, and some of those things like that is vague. They themselves know that they are technologically advanced. I don't think you really need to be telling them that. You need to pinpoint it to something and let that thing be related to your field. So I said point to a concrete strength. It could be a university's reputation, it could be a technological strength, it could be a research approach, and explain how that strength aligns with your study plan and your future goals. If you can reference a recent fact or example from the field, no need to overdo it. That's another thing. So just show that you've done your due diligence. This demonstrates seriousness, and it also demonstrates focus. Now, quickly, the third question is, what kinds of things do you think you can contribute to Japan and your home country through your experience of studying in Japan? Now, I need you to think of this as the return on investment question. Like, why should we pick you? Why should we pick you? Like, many people are going to be applying for this. Why should it be you? So you will need to reflect calmly on the goals you will achieve through your study in Japan, and more importantly, on the impact of those goals, or the impact those goals will have on others. How your new skills, knowledge, or collaborations will benefit your community, your industry, and Japan itself. Now, you need to be concrete about outcomes, such as training others. such as training others, building a program, collaborating on joint projects to show that your contribution comes off as realistic and scalable. So we are going to also share this document so that it helps you subsequently as you write your motivation. We will share this document on the group. So if you're not on the group after this webinar, maybe I think Doc will share how you can be on the group, and then we will definitely share this. Now, I want to give you a practical example of this so that it's not just talk. When I was applying, I made sure like there was hardly any video on MEXT I did not watch, and there was nowhere like where I saw a real MEXT motivation letter or MEXT this parts, you know, and the person won the scholarship and showed this part. So that is why I have decided that I am going to share it here. So I'm just going to do that quickly. And while I'm reading it, I want you to, you know, pin it to this guide I have told you and just see the points I made. Now, to the first question, my answer was my interest in Japan was sparked by a webinar hosted by current MEXT scholars. Exactly what we're doing here. You don't have to lie. You don't have to overdo it. That was what sparked my interest. I was not, you know, really interested in Japan like that. But when we attended the webinar and, you know, I heard from other scholars, I was, oh, okay, this might be nice. And then I said, who esteemed Japan for its global reputation in research excellence and explained how MEXT Scholarship is the largest scholarship pool in the world. As someone deeply passionate about sustainable poultry production, I began to explore, and I was impressed to learn that almost every prefecture in Japan operates its livestock experimentation station. Now, can you see how I have linked it to something specific to my field? As I explored further, no, this decentralized system reflects Japan's commitment to supporting local farmers, going beyond research for publications to practical solutions. As I explored further, I became inspired by Japan's precision, discipline, and attention to detail, which are qualities I admire and strive to embody in my academic and professional journey. Beyond academics, I am drawn to Japan's rich culture, deep respect for tradition, and strong sense of community. It feels like the ideal place for me, not just to grow as a lecturer and researcher, but also to develop personally by learning from a society I truly admire. I think if you are also on this selection panel, you might give me a chance. Sorry, I'm just joking. Now, the next question. Why do you choose Japan as a destination to study graduate level education? I chose Japan for my graduate studies because I have realized that advancing further in livestock science demands exposure to cutting-edge technology, state-of-the-art laboratory skills, and immersion in a world-class research environment. And these are areas where Japan excels globally. Japan is not only known for its advanced technologies in sustainable agriculture, but also stands among the top 5 countries globally in research outputs, according to NICE. This is a real, like, this is, I'm stating something that is real. I'm not just doing the vague one. Now, if you stop at the first thing I said, it will look a little bit vague. So that's why I added like a reference. So according to NICE, they are among the top 5 countries globally in research outputs. Now, I said, beyond refining my current research skills and experience, coming from a country that is not yet visible in such rankings, I want to know what Japan is doing differently and how I can learn from that to contributing to lifting my country's research standards. I am eager to experience firsthand the precision, discipline, and practical approaches that makes Japan's research ecosystem so successful, because I strongly believe they will shape me into a better researcher, educator, leader, and change agent. Another mistake you don't want to do in this application, don't go and rubbish your country. Like, don't do it. Don't do anything about I'm from a poor background, and then this is going to elevate poverty in my family or in my lineage. Please don't do that. Like, be very intelligent. This is a very competitive scholarship. And I was telling somebody the other day, if the scholarship was something that you know, it's just against yourself. They're just going to look at your own documents, and if your documents are high ranking, then they pick you. But no, you're being tested, and you're competing with different people from different backgrounds. So you want to come sharp at every point. So it doesn't have you were poor, okay, that's fine. Your country, we know that Nigeria or wherever your country is not that great, that's fine, but don't rubbish it. And that's why all I said here about my country was that they are not yet there. They're not yet visible in such rankings. So something like that, it's fine. The last question: what kind of things do you think you can contribute to Japan and your country through your experience in studying in Japan? Now, I said through my studies in Japan, I hope to contribute to Nigeria's national development by advancing research in sustainable livestock production that can be affordable for farmers and safe for consumers, while raising a new generation of skilled graduates through dedicated teaching and mentorship. I also plan to maintain active collaboration with my Japanese advisors after graduation, with a long-term goal of facilitating exchange programs that expose more Nigerian students and researchers to global best practices in Japan. Best practices. In Japan, I would love to volunteer as an English tutor, sharing my language skills while immersing myself deeper in the community, and also contribute actively to cross-cultural exchange programs, food culture, and community values. So there you have it. This is real. And this was what I submitted. So if you read through it, you will see that at every point I linked it back to my sustainable poetry production. I linked it back to the fact that I want to be a researcher. I linked it back to the fact that I want to be a lecturer. I linked it back to the fact that I want to add something to my country. Very important. Now, quickly, the next required document is the research plan. The research plan. Now, this particular part, I really think, because it gave me the most headache, so I really believe that it will be for some people also, like how to actually put up this research plan. Now, I also have something, okay. I have this. Okay, let's talk about this first. I said one of the most important parts of your MEXT application, we are also going to share this particular picture. I'm going to share this on the group just so that it guides you. What you want to do is to follow a particular component. When we had the webinar last year, Sabayo actually showed us what he submitted. And I think what he submitted was very simple, like very straight to the point. And he had just about, I think, 4 points. 4 points. So with his guidance, this was the first document I submitted, what you are seeing on your screen now. Mine had 10 points. So I had my topic: effect of feeding amino acid balanced low protein diet supplemented with green tea to broiler chickens, the impact on cost efficiency and fat deposition. So that was my topic. And then my research plans, I just said the ultimate goals of my research in Japan include this. Now, I feel like I was called, like this was what I submitted, and I was given a shot for the exam, like I passed the document screening. However, after I passed the document screening and the interview, I was asked, or a letter was sent to me to submit a real research plan, meaning they did not consider this a real research plan. So I want to think that for some reason, maybe the other parts of my application stood out such that this was not a problem. And so in as much as that helped, and apart from that, I feel like the goalposts might have shifted, because Doc came into Japan 2017. Doc, am I correct? 2017, 2018?
Yes, 2017, April 2017.
Yes, so 2017. Sabaya also came 2022, if I'm not mistaken, and this is 2027 application. So I feel like maybe they've shifted the goalpost a little, and I don't want anybody to like be a victim. And so that's why I prepared this document to guide you on how to actually write the research plan, like a real research plan, of which I'm also going to show you what that looks like. But basically what it has is your methodology, your background of study first, followed by your methodology, your expected outcomes, and then references. That is what a real research plan looks like. Now, when we had the webinar last year also, we're also encouraged that it doesn't have to be, like your research might change when you get here. So it doesn't have to be like, really very in-depth, and looks like you want to die on it. No, it doesn't have to be that serious. So what you want to do, and this is my recommendation, you don't have to like really follow that, but what I would really advise you do is that you go to the lecture, like, okay, I think I mentioned it here, how you can use ChatGPT. Okay, I'm not sure, but I think so. I think I mentioned it there. Now, what you want to do is go and search for professors in your field. Very simple prompts. Go to ChatGPT, professors in Japan that have interest in so and so. Now, MEXT would really like you to stay on your lane. They would really love that you stay on your lane, such that they would not want you to go too far from what you had done in the past. So what you want to do is that you did what they call it, you did a project, like a final year project. So what you might want to do, and if like maybe you really did research and you were really engrossed in your research, you already know your research interest. So you want to just type that in. Professors in Japan that work on so and so. Give me their full names, their official websites, and maybe some of their publications. ChatGPT is going to bring it out, or whichever what they call it, whichever AI you use, and they're going to bring it out. Now, when they bring it out, I want you to calm down and just go to their sites, like the official website. When you go to the official website, try to read 2, 3, 4 of their publications. If you can't find it on the official website, type their name straight into Google Scholar. Some of it will come out, or even type their name straight into Google. Some of their publications will come out. Then read it. When you read it, go to the part of further research. Go to the part of conclusion and check those little things that they said need more study or need further research. And then all you need to do is just build something around it. It doesn't have to be very elaborate. It doesn't have to be very plenty, because they already even said it that it shouldn't be, I think, more than 2 pages or 3 pages, including what they gave you, like the provided templates. So your background to the study is actually an introduction. What do you want to work on? Why does it matter? And what gap will that fill? The methodology is describing how you plan to carry out your research. You need to be specific and concise. Even in this, my 10 points, all these things I'm saying right now was in this 10 points. However, they needed it more elaborate. So yeah. Then you will say your expected outcome. What results do you anticipate will come out of the research? And then how will that work contribute to your field? And then you have to put references of the sources you use, especially in your background to the study and all those things. Now, one interesting thing about me was that when I was doing my own, I was so like, when I found the lecturer in Tohoku University, I wanted to, like, I didn't want to go any other place. So even in my work, his name is referenced in my work that I submitted to the embassy. So you can imagine what that shows to the lecturer. It's like, oh, this person is serious. This person read our work, and this person is interested in what we are doing. So I think you could try that. So this was what I now submitted after I was told to rewrite it. So you see the background to the study is just from here to here. Like, this is all about the background to the study, but you could see references. You could see me quoting plenty things. And then my methodology, I wrote it there. And then the expected outcomes. You see the expected outcomes is just, very small. It doesn't need to be so much. And then the references. The references was actually what made it to go into 3 pages. If not, it would have just been 2 pages. So this was what I now later submitted. And that's why I would really advise that you do this. But please, these guys are not, what they call it, they are not experts in the field. They are not experts in the field. So don't be too technical. Like, I think Feynman's principle that said if you can explain anything to a 5-year-old, it means you understand it yourself. So just the way a full, manuscript is being brought out and then just brought into like an abstract, how you just condense a manuscript into just a small abstract, then you can say anything you want to say about your research plan as simple as possible. So I don't want you to try to be technical. That is not going to impress them. That is going to confuse them. So you don't want to be so technical. Use very basic language as much as possible, and then just try to explain your topic. To let your topic not be very vague, very technical. Just find something minimal to do for this part. Now, the next thing on our required documents is your placement form. Your placement form, and this is the form that allows you to select 3 universities and 3 professors you want to work with. Now, this selection, please let your selection be based on your research interests. Don't make selection based on, just the fact that the university is popular. The university might be popular. Like when I was doing my own application, I checked Tokyo, I checked Kyoto, I checked some of those universities. In fact, I checked Ibaraki Agriculture University and some of those universities because I was, just really looking for following what ChatGPT gave me on, the names of the professors. But I had to do in-depth work to check for the professors that were in my research interests. It's very important because when you come here and they're not your research interest, you're going to have to do more. Like you're going to have to be learning more and adapting plenty. And the adaptation here alone, it's enough than for you to now come and enter something totally new. You don't even know where to start from. So it's very important that you select based on your research. Another thing I need to put out here also about this placement form is that when you pass the interview, a list of universities will also be sent to you. And when this list of universities is sent to you, you will be allowed to change the universities you picked. Now, this doesn't mean that from now you shouldn't do a good work. As I said, many things can change. So from now, just do a good work. It will just maybe happen that maybe later, maybe after the exam and all those things, you got to find another university, or maybe the ones you put were not responding to you. Then you have the opportunity to pick from another university, and just fill it in. So it's important you know that. Now, when you're also doing that, check for lecturers with English publications. Don't forget that Japan is 90-something% Japanese speaking people. So you would want to find lecturers that have English publications. So when you're checking the publications, of course, if you don't see English publications, run. So that you don't stress yourself too much with that. And then university location and popularity is also important too. Like the university location is important. Try as much as possible to find out from people that are here. Try as much as possible to find out from people that are here on some particular places. Like when I was doing my own application, I had to ask Abayo, what of here? Oh, he told me, no, this is too rural. This is too like this. Like he would just give me some tips on whether I should go for such universities or I shouldn't go for such universities. So check for university location. Ask people that are here so that you take informed decisions. Also, the southern parts of Japan is warmer than the northern parts. I am in the northern parts, and I've heard that the cold has not hit yet. But when I got here, I was so cold. I was shaking like it was unbearable for me on that day because I didn't come with so much sweater and all that. But I'm doing fine. It's getting warmer now, so it's okay. So that also it's a thing. If you cannot withstand cold at all, maybe the north might not be too nice a location for you. You might want to go to the south or maybe the central and things like that. So that is that about the placement form. Now the second, the other documents is the recommendation form. Now the recommendation form, like MEXT has already provided a sample recommendation form. So you could either like just use that sample, like send that sample to your recommender, or you could allow your recommender do like a free form, because even they mentioned that you can do a free form. Now, the recommendation letter is usually two, like that you need usually two. One from either your dean of faculty, your professor, or your advisor, or your dean of faculty, or your HOD, yes, your department. That's one recommendation. The second recommendation letter is from your place of work. That is if you are in a full-time job, not part-time job, the one you go today, don't go tomorrow, no. A full-time job, then you might need to also submit a recommendation letter for that. Now, what I need you to do with that recommendation letter, Sabayo shared with us, and I think that video might still be available and it will be shared in the group, on how to like really package your recommendation letter. And I think the best of what I did, and that was what I did, was that I converted that PDF to Word document also, and I sent it to my recommender, and I begged him to please help me fill it, even if he wants to fill it electronically. So because my own recommender didn't have to do like an extra, like he just filled the sample recommendation and that was enough. So if he's filling it electronically, you can beg him to fill it electronically. And when he fills it electronically, beg him to please print out 3 copies of that document. When he prints out 3 copies of the document, beg him to please sign with biro, not an e-signature. He should help you sign it with biro, because there's a place for signature in the letter. He should sign it, please, with biro. If your recommender has a stamp, if maybe it's the dean or anything, and they have a dean stamp or anything, they should add their stamp to it. When they do that, also beg them to help you put the assigned number. There is an assigned number of all documents on the guideline. I think recommendation should be maybe 6 or 7. I can't remember now. On the right hand top, I think that's where it's supposed to be. Tell him exactly where to help you put the number. So on those 3 letters, he should put it. He should either do that for the 3, or he can print out 1, sign it physically, put the number, and then photocopy the 2. But I just feel like if they're going to photocopy, they can just, they can just print 3 copies. I feel like that's easy and straightforward. Now beg him to also put the assigned number. Then he should put it in an envelope for you. When he puts it in an envelope, he should seal the envelope. If, for instance, this is an envelope, or this is the letter rather, and he puts it, I don't have a real envelope here, but I know that Sabayo will share that video with us so that we can actually get it. And let's say this is the envelope. When he puts it in the envelope like this, and he covers the envelope, this place that is covered, he should sign across it. Sign across it, the 3 of them. When he signs across it, this shows that this letter was not opened at all. And then he should send it to you through either courier service, or if you are in the same town, you can go and pick it up, or you can use Waybill to send it. You can use Waybill to send it to you. Please, this is also very important. Don't use e-copy, e-signature rather. He shouldn't use e-signature. So that is that. It's the same thing for your recommender if you're from your workplace. Your recommender from your workplace. The next required document is your medical certificate. There's also a template, like you will need to print it out and take it to the hospital. It should be filled and signed by a physician, and they should please put the stamp of the hospital on it. Also, don't forget to put its number on it, and then make photocopies of that too. Now, quickly, the abstracts of thesis. The abstract of thesis. If you have publications, great. If you have publications, this is a place to put the abstract of that thesis. If you don't have publication, this is an optional document, but I feel like everybody that did a final year project has an abstract of thesis. So please submit this document also. How you will prepare this document is that you will go to MS Word. This is how it will look like. You're going to go to MS Word, and then you will type abstract of thesis for MEXT Scholarship. You write your name, you write the date. Then number 1, the topic, effects of a commercial blend. When you write the topic, put the sorry, excuse me, put the abstract, and when you put the abstract, then put remarks, and in your remarks cite it, like cite this paper. So for like this particular one, it was published, like this I had a publication. I think I have about two publications. Yes, so this is no, 3 publications. I had 1 journal and two what they call it, conference papers. So I put all of it. So you want to put that and then put it, and even if there is a is this a URL? Yes, add the URL. Now, if you had continued, if you have a second one, you do the second one the same way. The place of remarks, you put it. If it's unpublished, still cite it, and in bracket put unpublished, maybe unpublished MSc thesis or unpublished undergraduate thesis, something like that. So this is how to prepare the abstract of thesis. Yes, include citation. Now moving on, transcripts. It's not like as if I left this last. Maybe it was supposed to come first, but I just feel like there's not so much you can do with this. Like there's really nothing you can do. Just make sure your transcript is collected from your school as early as possible. It said transcripts should show the grade scale applied and the grades earned by the applicant in all the subjects studied for each year of study and the course attended. So, you know, there is one like that is usually given to some people where they will just put maybe together with your certificate or maybe your result, they will just put some subjects and then just put maybe pass or credit or something like that. No, what they want is that they want to see grade scale. Was it over 5? Is it 5 points? Is it 4 points grade scale? And then in this particular semester, what was the grade scale? What was the GP? What was the CGPA? This particular subject, what did you score in it? Like a full transcript. That is what they want to see. So this is gotten from your school. There's not so much you can do about it. It's just to make sure you get it. And then there's no altering you need to do. Then you also need your certificates. A statement of result. Okay, so I said a statement of result is acceptable. Like if your certificate is not yet ready, you can like usually submit a statement of result for the meantime, but you will be required to later submit your certificate when it is out. Okay. Now I've gotten to like a very important part. I did not really separate this webinar to undergraduates and research students, and this is because for the undergraduate you also have a guideline and you also have like documents to submit. Like some of the documents are even similar: recommendation letter, your medical certificate, and also you also have a placement form. The only difference with undergraduates, I want to just quickly say that because we're going into submission now, the only difference with undergraduates is that for undergraduates you will need to select the course you will be studying. So usually for undergraduate, you are definitely going to have a 1-year Japanese study, except if you're good with Japanese and then you submit it and you want to like directly apply to go straight into your studies. But if not, you will need to do a 1-year study. So 1 year and then 4 years for your bachelor's degree. So there is A, B, there is natural sciences, and then there's social sciences, and then you will just select from the group of those what you want to do, and then they will tell you the exam you're going to write, because you will write exams also. So they will tell you for that particular course that you selected, they'll show you the exams that you're supposed to write in the screening. So basically that is for the undergraduate. So you have that also application form. So the same thing applies. Fill it properly and then just make sure that everything is checked, everything is correct. Also, please, when you're filling the application form, if it's possible to open a new Gmail account for this purpose, like a Gmail account that has a phone number that can be reached, or a Gmail account that has a good name, not sexy baby 001 or don something, or Odogu or Odogu Pararang 05. When I need you to get, like, put a name. If it's possible, use your 2 names that you're using in the application. Put your 2 names and do the submission properly. and then put it there. So maybe open a new Gmail account. If all your Gmail accounts are funny names, open a new Gmail account. When you're putting in your phone number, also make sure your phone number is correct. Now, another very important thing before I move to submissions about the application form also is that when you're filling the schools you've attended, when you're filling that part, you will notice that there is a place left for remark down. Now, that place left for remark is to write any irregularity in your, maybe your transcript or your certificates, because you will need to submit them. So if there is any irregularity in any of those things, this is the best time for you to make mention of them in, in the remark part. Another thing also is that when you are submitting, or when you're writing in the dates of when you graduated or when you didn't graduate, it is not the day you graduated from school that you put as your year of graduation or your date of graduation. It is what is in your certificate you will put. So if maybe, for instance, okay, so for me, I graduated in April, but my certificate was carrying July. So what you're supposed to write is July, and then put the year that is on the certificate. Don't put when maybe you actually wrote your final exam or when you did sign out. So any irregularities in that, maybe there was strike, maybe there was something that made you lose maybe 1 year, 2 year, make sure you put it there. So now let's go to the submission of the documents. I said label all documents accordingly with the numbers stated in the guidelines. So the guidelines have, everything you're supposed to number at the top right. I think it's either the top right or the top left. I can't remember now. So write the number, make sure those numbers are written. Now, for your documents, make sure you're making colored photocopies of all your documents. Please don't do black and white. Like, this scholarship is not the type of scholarship that collects application fee from you. So as much as possible, try as much as possible to just, go the length to submit a good application, because this document submission level, I feel is the hardest. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from them. But if you can, do a good work from the beginning, then you could stand a chance. So make everything sharp. Make colored photocopies of all your documents, please. Colored photocopies. Now, I said notarize every document that was not provided by embassy. Now, the documents that were provided by embassy, placement form was provided, application form was provided, recommendation letter was provided. So anything that was provided, that you downloaded from the site, you don't need to notarize them. However, every other document that was not downloaded from the site needs to be notarized. And what you are doing in the notary is that you will first take a photocopy. For instance, your certificate, your transcript, you will make a colored photocopy. Is that colored photocopy now that they will notarize? That followed colored photocopy, that is the one that will be notarized. And when it's notarized, you can now then do the photocopy of them. Now, very important, the last seminar, we were advised to submit everything submittable. What's the worst that can happen? So for me, and that is because the Japanese people would really love to know everything about you. They would really love that. They don't want to have to figure out, how was this person's primary school, or how was this person's secondary school, or does the person have a child, does the person have a husband? They really need to know everything. So for this reason, the documents you're submitting should not just, we're just recommending it. It should not just be, everything, just the things that were asked. You can add your primary school certificate, your secondary school certificate. I added my primary school certificate, my secondary school certificate, my marriage certificate, my daughter's birth certificate. At the time, I had attended some project management courses. I had printed it out. I printed it out, notarized it also, and added it to the submissions. In fact, in 2011, I was part of the people that represented my state at the time for the national debates in Nigeria. That was when Nigeria became 50 years. 2011, yeah, I think so. Or 2012. I was there. So the certificate they gave me, I added it. I notarized it and I added it. Because all you want to do is to show that you have been sharp from day one, you know, like you were born ready. That's what you want to show them. So all you need to do now, when you have done that, you have photocopied, you have notarized your document. It's now time to submit. I put it in caps lock. Do not submit any original documents. You will not see it again. OT law. If you submit any original documents, OT law, like they even put it on the guidelines, do not submit any original documents. And it's also just like the question that somebody was asking about whether if the one that was signed from your school will be okay. I know we will have question and answer later, but I just wanted to put it out there. Whether it was signed by your school or it was not signed by your school, this is a competitive scholarship. Like just like, okay. So I've been living lately by just do all that is required so that you don't have any stone left unturned. You not come and be thinking, oh, maybe was it this one I did or was it this one that I didn't do? Just make everything be sharp. Notarize all your documents. You're not paying for application fees, so please try as much as possible, at least small. Now, when you want to submit it, you need to get 3 big flat brown envelopes. And then you will label them original, photocopy 1, copy 2. There was also a video last year posted. I don't know if Sabayo still has that video. Maybe he would love to share it also with us on the group. Like, we were shown how to actually package it, and it really helped. So the original documents now, what it means is the application form, the one you filled. You don't understand. Now, for your application form, when you want to submit it, before you submit it, you see that passport, they give a dimension. When the person that is snapping you, tell the person the dimension, and he should follow the dimension strictly and go with the application form. If when he finishes it, you place it on the application form, it passed by small or it's longer by small, let them redo it because you already gave them the information on what to do. Follow instructions to the latest. So what you want to do is you will now place it on the application form, that application form you have filled and photocopied out. You place it on it. When you place it on it, then you can make photocopies, 2 photocopies of it. So that, and then your certificate, the one that was notarized, the photocopy that was notarized, that's the one that will be in the original. So in all your documents, the one that was notarized, the one that has the original signing and stamp of the notary, that is the original copy, not your main original document. Please, I've said that again. Then the photocopy you made, you have copy 1 and copy 2. Now, what you want to do, they gave you the numbering. Please do not staple any documents. Please don't staple any documents. Just arrange them like that. Don't staple it. Just arrange them like that. So from number 1, number 2, arrange it like that. Now, when you're done arranging it, all the ones that they did not send you, but you're just nice enough to add them behind. What they call this one too, NYSC. Yes, I added my NYSC certificate also. So you add them behind and then put it into the original. You do the same thing for copy 1, you do the same thing for copy 2. Be very meticulous, be very neat. If while you were doing it, your baby or somebody pour water on one of the envelope, go and buy another envelope. I think in Nigeria, envelope cannot be more than 300 or 400 naira. Go and buy another envelope, or oil stain it, or one of your paper oil stain it. Go and do something else. Be very meticulous and neat. Now, when you have done this, you will get an extra bigger envelope. Put all the 3 copies into this envelope and seal it. When you seal it, you address it to the Embassy of Japan in your country, and then you wait to be called. Now, when you wait to be called, the next thing that will happen is the exams and the interview. I'm going to talk to Doc if there is a possibility, by God's grace, for those that get selected after the document screening, we might be able to hold another webinar that talks about the exams and the interview and how to actually prepare for it. But let me just say it here in case some of you might not be interested in a second webinar. The advice I got when I was preparing for my exams actually came from one of the people that did the webinar last year, Auntie Doing. And what she told me was that while I was practicing past questions, you will write an English and Japanese exam. don't be scared about the Japanese exam. Like the Japanese exam, just make sure you answer all the questions. Write your name and answer all the questions. Just do it like that. For your English exams, you need to prepare sharp for it. If it has been long you graduated, you might need to start reading comprehension, because the comprehension parts are usually very long. And the good thing is that there are past questions that you can practice, and get ready for the exams with. So while I was practicing past questions, I just spoke to Auntie Doyin. I was like I disturbed these three people, Dr. Auntie Doyin and Sabayo, and not like disturb in the sense of the way some people disrespectfully disturb people, like very humbly, and very graciously. Like I would be in their DMs asking every question, and when they have the time and they answer me, and then I move on from there. So while I was preparing for the exam, I just asked Auntie Doyin if she had anything to tell me, like any tip that I needed to be aware of. And Auntie Doyin asked me how long was I using to prepare for the test questions, and it's actually 60 minutes. I think 50 questions, 60 minutes. And I told her that at the time I was finishing them in 40 minutes, which is fair. Like I felt that was really fair, and I was already like praising myself. And then Auntie Doyin said I should finish the questions in 20 minutes. I was like, Auntie. Like that was what I said in my mind. I was like, hey, this one I've come and now too much now. Kill a day. 60 minutes question. I'm finishing it in 40 minutes. What can happen? Anyway, I shall listen to advice. And I started timing myself. I'm making sure I finished it in 20 minutes. Now, another thing you need to know about the exam. If all of you fail, MEXT will not pick any of you. Like they have their standard. If 80 is the pass mark, all of you didn't get 80, they will not pick anybody. Don't even like, it's not like as if they would drop the score just because maybe everybody didn't pass. So everybody has to come sharp. Now, when I went into the exam hall, my spirit man asked me to start with comprehension. And that comprehension was difficult. Like it was so lengthy and it was so different from what like we had studied before. And when I just finished comprehension and I went to the next section, I had 20 minutes remaining. It was, and for anybody that didn't start with the comprehension, if you had started with the other parts and then you had that 20 minutes remaining, like it would have thrown people off balance. And I feel like that might have been one of the reasons why maybe some people didn't make it through the exam. So it's important. That's my recommendation. Start with the comprehension part. Now, for your interview, you just need to know your research plan properly. Don't stress yourself. Like I had many things planned. Like I even wanted to go and introduce myself in Japanese because I already started learning Japanese at the time. I wanted to go and introduce myself in Japanese, but I was told by Doc and Sabayo that I should calm down. My blood is too hot. And because the interviewers may not all be Japanese, there was one Japanese person, but then the rest were not Japanese. And then, so just know your research plan. That is the most important thing they will ask in the interview. Then practice past questions. As I said, I would not be sharing some of the past questions. Sabayo told me that what I should do is that I should go to YouTube, write down all the questions I have ever seen on YouTube that people have posted about, past interview questions, and I should sit down and write down the answers. When I sit down and write down the answers, I should just practice it. Now, what you're doing is you're not cramming the answers, you're just familiarizing yourself with the way to answer questions. Now, because when you don't familiarize yourself with the way you are going to approach a particular question, when you go there, you're just going to babble, say plenty things, and at the end of the day, you're taking longer time and you're not really communicating. So when he said that, that was what I did. And he graciously went through those questions with me, corrected me on some things. I sent the questions to Doc. Doc also went through the questions, corrected me on some of them. And so that was how I prepared for the interview. Another thing that Sabayo did, and I'm so grateful for, is that I think a day or two before the interview, on the day of the interview, in fact, that was everything for me. On the day of the interview, he also still called me and told me I should calm down. Like I shouldn't panic, I should just be myself. And truthfully, when I entered there, I was as relaxed as anything. Like I was not shaking, I was not, jittering, I was just calm. So that is my advice for you. Like just be calm, just be yourself. If they're going to pick you, they're going to pick you. If they're not going to pick you, I'm so sorry, they might not pick you. But if they're going to pick you and God has ordained that it's your time, it will be your time. So don't panic, just be yourself, be your true self, and you might just be the next scholar. Now, after that, after this, after the interview and the result comes out, you will then ask for the letter of provisional acceptance. So they will send you a list, as I already stated at the beginning. They will send you a list among the universities that you can select from, and then you select there. Now, some schools have different approaches to all this. Some schools will prefer that you talk to the lecturer, and then the lecturer will talk to them before they respond to you, while some schools prefer that you send the message directly. The embassy is going to send you what you should say in those emails. So some schools will prefer that you talk to the School of Graduates or the International Exchange body, and then they are the ones that will talk to the lecturer on your behalf. So whichever one the school permits is what you will do. So make sure you go through their website and see how it is done in that particular school. Now, some schools will require that you be interviewed. Some schools will not interview you. Like the second school I got letter of acceptance from, they didn't even interview me. Like I didn't even need to talk to the lecturer. There's a form that they have. You fill the form, you upload the document, because the embassy will give you a stamped document, a stamped copy of all the documents you sent to them, the ones that are required. They will send it back to you, and then you will send those documents to the university. So some schools, like the second school, I just filled that particular, that particular form, and then they sent me the letter of acceptance without interview, without seeing anybody, without talking to me. So they sent it. So while some schools might want you to do like an interview, some schools would just the professors, some schools the entire lab, like the entire lab members would be on you, like, and be asking you questions and all that. So still, for the same thing for this interview, just know your research plan. Just know what you want to do. That's like the basic thing that they will be asking you. So that's what I said. You should really be able to explain your intended research. I'm sorry, I'm really rushing because I've taken so much. I didn't know I'll take this much time. We're finally at the last slide. Now, finally, I want to share something with you. As hard and as sad and as unfortunate as it might sound, not everybody on this webinar will make it this year. I'm so sorry, but I just felt like I needed to say that. Not everybody on this webinar will make it. However, there's something I need you to know. When you don't get that letter, when you don't get a response back, take it as these two things. It simply means not here, which means you might need to apply somewhere else. It means not here. Not here. It's not that you're not good. It's not that your result is not nice. It's not that God has not ordained you to go abroad. Just that it's not here. This is not where, or this is not the route through which your dream is going to be accomplished. The second thing is that it's not now. I've heard people that applied previously, they didn't get it, and when they applied the next year, they got it. I've heard people that applied 2 years and then they got it on the 3rd year. So it might not be now. And I'm going to end it with a story, a very quick one. One of the ladies, I asked her permission to share this, so I feel like I can share it. One of the ladies that was in my set had a first class in finance, and she was not selected after the interview. And what she did was that she messaged, like she looked for universities and messaged lecturers for the university route. And I'm pleased to tell you that in her university, a letter was sent because she shared the email with me. She was selected as the best. Like her portfolio was the best for that university. So you could see that it was not that she wasn't good, but the embassy route was not her route. And she has been recommended to MEXT, and she should be also coming to Japan in October. Thank you so much for coming to this webinar, and I will be waiting to hear your questions. Thank you, sir.
That's serious. Do you want to give some? Okay, you're doing that already. Thank you so much. Thank you. Scholar OC. Thank you. That was sweet. I mean, I was particularly interested in you handling this because, of course, 9 years ago was a long time, and I know a lot has changed. And thank you for doing justice to that. A lot of questions came up while you were on. Let me quickly go through some of them. And somebody is raising his hand too. So we'll take all of that before we round up. Let me start from the beginning. Okay. Okay. Please, how did all this enter into the boxes provided? I think the person was referring to when you're showing all those places where you answered questions and they were in caps and all that. So the person was wondering how everything entered into the boxes provided. I don't know if the person had tried it before and it didn't enter, so I'm not sure. So what was it like feeling?
Okay, so I think what I can also do is to check the number of words, but I did not increase the size of the box. Like I left the box the way it was, and I want you all to do that. Like, don't increase the size of the box, because if you increase the size of the box, I tried to increase the size of the box and I noticed it's messed up some part of the form, so I left it like that. So what I submitted was actually the space that was provided. I would maybe check the number of words. Yeah, so that you know that that's the maximum. However, the font size and keeping it in caps lock made it eligible. So maybe not the count, the word count, but it made it eligible. That's why I recommended that font.
But I think you've answered this next question, but let me just read it. Please, is it compulsory to write the research plan in block letters? So, and from what you've answered already, you talked about the fact that because the space is small and you have a lot to write, making it in caps made it more legible for people to read. Maybe that would be the.
But you know, the research plan, the research plan you're talking about, if you want to go the route of like just writing 4 or 5 points, then please, it should be in block letter.
Okay.
If you are writing just that 4, like our 10 points, 4 points, then it should be in block letter. But however, if you are doing the normal one I discussed, then no, it doesn't have to be in block letter. Like that is so much to be in block letter. You can leave it at that.
Okay, so it's like the short things you might be filling in the forms should be in caps, but anything you're writing for yourself should be in regular writing style. How do you go about the citation of your work? This is from Eze Joseph. How do you go about the citation of your work if you don't have a published work? Also, for the recommendation letter, since it's already sealed, are we putting them in separate envelopes or how?
Okay, so for the referencing of your work, like we all learned ALA, MLA reference type. The way you reference when you did your project, just the way you reference people, you know, that you talked about their work. So for instance, you're not the only one that did your work. So you and your professor, if there were 2 professors, your professor, then you write it. So for instance, your name, if it's I don't know if that's the ALA or the MLA now. So it will be your son name, then the initial, then comma, right? Yeah, comma. Please check MLA or ALA recommend citation, and then just cite it like that. When you finish citing it, then you write in brackets unpublished. That's all. Then for the sorry, so what was the second recommendation?
Yeah,
the recommendation letter. The recommendation letter is I said you would ask your supervisor to do 3 now, and you're submitting 3 documents, like you're submitting 3 envelopes, so 1 for each envelope. That's
and there everything will now be added to the general file.
Yeah, the big envelope. Because the recommendation letter, I think, is number 7, so it's part of it. So when you arrange 1, 2, 3, 4, recommendation letter should be in its position. Then put it in the file.
I remember what I did back then was maybe the 3 recommendation letters in another file. No, maybe I numbered them 7A, 7B, 7C, like that, just to show it's number 7. But it's been a long time, so thankfully you're here. Okay, this person is asking, okay, recommendation letter, does it have to be capital letter? Of course, we've answered that.
You don't even know now. You don't know, like you're not supposed to see.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say exactly. So whatever the recommendation letter looks like is fine. So whether it is filled by hand or it's to the recommender's taste. Please speak a bit more on the notarization. Is it the one we get from lawyers? I think this was the question somebody else who asked in the beginning, that since they now say maybe if an official from university signs, maybe this is not necessary. Did you clarify that? Yeah,
no, please. Like, even if an official, because normally your transcript, normally an official is supposed to sign. Normally, like there should be a signature from So that's not a problem. But because you have to photocopy it, so you're not submitting that one. So because you have to photocopy it, you will need to, get it to the lawyer. So yes, it's the one that the lawyer signed. That's the notarization.
Nice. I was expecting you to explain where the notarized documents would be done. It's my first time hearing the word notarized. That's interesting. Go ahead. Yeah. So I think that this person will be greatly helped by this idea of notarization.
Okay. Yeah. So I already mentioned that is the one the lawyers would do. I did mine in High Court.
I remember doing mine in High Court too.
Yes, I did mine in High Court.
Federal High Court, yeah.
Yes, Federal High Court.
Or you can do it anywhere. Federal High Court, State High Court, customary
State
court.
High Court. Yes.
In a court. Yes. I think it's fine.
With their stamp. They even like stamp more than signature in Japan.
That stamp, even families have stamps. We have a stamp now.
Yes, family, like, families have stamps in Japan.
So you have to make a stamp. That stamp, yeah, okay. Jumbo is saying APA. Yeah, for one thing I just have to say about the recommendation is whatever style you are using, whether it is APA, MLA, or Chicago, or anything, make sure it is consistent. Don't use one reference APA, the other one MLA. Whatever you're choosing, follow it. The embassy does not have a standard. They don't have a standard for recommendation, but whatever format you're using, be consistent. And the fact that you are qualified to apply for MEXT, it means you have at least one work to reference. That is a final year project. So whether you publish it or not, it doesn't even matter. Just say title, reference it as a proper. There's a way to reference things like that. Just say unpublished. That's all. So do we need to add references in the initial form, or is an attachment better later? What's that? Okum Nedi, do you want to speak? You have your hand raised already. So can you clarify your question, please? Okum Nedi.
Okay, so I think I wanted to say, when she showed us hers, she said her own reference was on the initial document. So I was asking if it's just better to fit in all your information in that initial document, references and all, or is it better to just include your references as an attachment?
Are you asking about reference or recommendation?
References for the part where you do your plan, your study plan.
Yeah. Include it. Like what happened was that I started it on the second page, but it's extended. So it's the same way you write projects. After the expected outcomes or conclusion, you follow it with references. That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay. That initially that was not actually where I had my hand raised. Can I actually
feel free, go ahead with that? Sure. Yeah, okay. Please go ahead with that.
So when you were explaining the process about the embassy and university, you actually clarified that there were two different methods. So it actually reminded me of a process my friend and I followed actually. So somebody told us that we may not be able to, even after applying, the schools we apply for may not be able to get acceptance. So we should try and reach out to professors early. So that's what we did. So we reached out to professors in Japan, and I was able to speak with a professor. I was actually able to send cold emails, got in contact with him. He scheduled a call. We got on the call. We were able to have a discussion. And I think he slightly mentioned sending a letter, but then I don't know if there was poor communication. He now said something about, well, which method am I using to apply? So I was like, oh, the embassy. So I believe the university recommendation was not open at the time, because I don't really know how to go about that. So I don't know if that was like a missed opportunity for me, or if that's something I should go back on or something, because I'm still a bit confused. I'm still in communication with him to some extent, because he gave me some work to do based on the field of study I chose. But I don't know if it's something I'm supposed to go back to him and ask about the letter he mentioned.
Okay, so for university recommendation is always out around November, December, Doc. I think November, December.
That depends on university. I think it depends on the university.
No, like, okay. But however, like what happens is that why they will ask you what route you're going through is that even if you send cold emails to lecturer, I did that also. Like I started sending cold emails even before I submitted my application to the embassy. Now, what it will do is that it would ring a bell. Like your name will ring a bell when that lecturer eventually gets your application through the school. So it will be like, oh, I've talked to this person, and then it will actually be easier for you to get the what they call it, the letter of acceptance. However, if you don't pass the screening from the embassy, there's nothing you can do about it. So that's why that part, in as much as it's good that you speak to lecturers and they know about you, there's little you can do if you don't pass the screening from the what they call it, from the embassy. Now, for the university recommendation, in as much as it depends on the schools, it's when it comes out, like just the way this one is announced, for the school there's a time period where they start taking applications for university recommendation. So what I always advise is that people should always try the embassy route first. If it doesn't work out, then you can always, try the university recommendation. But you can always still keep in touch with the lecturer and make sure like you guys are in sync. And then when it's time to submit the university application, you can let him know that you want to try through the university recommendation route, and he would show you how to do it. The reason with professors is that they don't actually have the final say in university recommendations. So that's why you see that most people go through embassy route. Like the professors might not have final say. They will still have to submit it to university board, and then the university recommends. So it's like a pool of maybe, let's say 5 or 6 people were successful. Then university will have to sit on that because MEXT gives them a quota to submit. Some universities are 1 people, some are 2. So that's just the thing about the university. And
if I'll add to that, I must emphasize that having audience with a professor is you are extremely privileged, because professors don't answer like that. So the fact that you have that professor's audience, you want to make the most of it. And for me, how can you make the most of it? You've been told already. First of all, try the university route. So if you try the university route, and now one reason why you having a professors in your corner is that if you're able to pass the screening and you go to the interview, it can give you a leverage. That the fact that you already have a professor is a plus for you. Then the other thing is that I think I would have expected you would have asked the professor that if you need to apply, what is it? Okay, he asked you what route you are taking. So if you are so you could have told him the university route if you are taking that. If not, you could then ask him that if he's coming through the university route, what process did he recommend? So he would have told you what to do in that regard. So having a professor's attention is, you don't want to mess it up at all. It's unusual. It's really unusual. Seriously. So so now that you're here and the university route is out, you could go for that.
The embassy route.
Yeah, the embassy route is that. Yeah, you can go for that. But you can also do your research to find out for that particular university, how do they do their university route? Also, you want to do that research on your own, because everything is online. Now, one interesting thing about the university route is that it is like 2 ways. Sometimes, depending on the university you are going to. I remember when I remember one of my students in Lagos, London School of Economics and Politics back in the days. He organized something like this and he invited me. So I gave a talk like this, and I didn't see, nobody came to me later to say, oh, thank you for that talk. I have got into Japan. But guess what? So I actually, of course, the emphasis is usually on the embassy route, right? But by the time, maybe like 1 or 2 years after, I just discovered some Futa guys are in University of Tsukuba. All of them, none of them made first class. Maybe they had 3.5, 3.4, not 3.4, maybe 3.5 upwards. And they were all from the metrology department in Futa, and they're in University of Tsukuba. So I was wondering what happened. So by the time, in fact, one of them came to visit us here all the way from Tsukuba before he went to America for PhD. And now this is one of advantage of MEXT too. So if you come here for masters, you can. I know people that they just come for masters, and before you know it, they are off to Cambridge or something. Having a Japanese university on your CV, so if Japan is your final destination, you come here for masters, it's easy to go elsewhere after masters, after PhD. So back to the talk about having a professor's audience, right? So I just discovered those guys. They like 3 of them like that. They were in Tsukuba, and they told me that after they tried the university, the embassy route, and it didn't work, they just reached out to a professor, and they got 3 of them like that. Same metrology also in the same University of Tsukuba. So the university routes, some are, in some cases it's easier than the embassy routes. Sometimes it is harder than the embassy routes. So it's good to have options like that. Yeah. So don't waste that opportunity that a professor has your time. Most times professors don't have your time like that. So you want to do the university thing. If it doesn't work, then ask him how you can do embassy.
The embassy.
If it doesn't work, then ask him how you can do the university one.
Yes.
I can say you are very blessed, because it's very rare to get a professor's attention. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Welcome, Okum. Then, is there a recommended size for the font? 10, 11, 12? I realized that upon word conversion, the original size of the document is 9. If I am writing with 9, is it not too small?
It's
That's
small.
from Akindele Adeniyi. Okay,
9 is small.
Okay.
9 is small. I can't remember what I used. Maybe I'll say it on the group. But I think 10, or because you don't want it to be too big again. It will be standing out. It will be standing out of the document. So maybe just I can't remember. I'll have to check.
Okay.
I'll have to check.
Okay.
10 or 11, because immediately you turn it to caps lock. That's why, like my application, everything is in caps lock. The form itself, everything is in caps lock. Because when you change it to caps lock, then it, no matter the font, it looks bigger. So maybe 10 with caps lock. Yeah.
So EEE, I think that should be IEEE. Amafili wants to talk about EEE, IEEE or APA style for the reference. Yeah, well, like I said, if you like, use IEEE. If you like, use APA. The embassy doesn't care. Just make sure that all the references follow the same. They are consistent. If it is IEEE format or APA or MLA or Chicago or Harvard or anything like that. Yeah, Adepoju is asking, for the research plan, it is instructed to be in 2 pages, but mine is in 4 pages. Can I label the other 2 pages as extra? They don't instruct you. You shall want do your own. Please go ahead and what do you have to say about this?
No, please, like it's just as I said, just the way you can shrink a whole my master's thesis, I think it was 100 and something pages, if I'm not mistaken. And you shrink all that into one abstract, like a short, maybe 1 page or 2 page abstract. So you can do that for anything. This is like just a research plan. As I said, don't be too technical. Don't think it too much. Like just something small. As I showed you, like my own was the two pages. The only one that entered the 3rd page was reference. So even them too, they will understand because I needed to put reference. But I feel like 4 pages is stretch. Anyway, they mentioned that you can put extra documents. So if you want to risk it, maybe. But I just feel like you might want to just follow the instruction they gave here.
Yeah, for me, if you have an instruction, just follow it. Don't push it. There's nothing the extra 2 pages are going to add that you can't. In fact, I think a lot of people worry about this, right? But when I show them my own plan, it's like maybe just some lines. I just say topic this, few lines, bullet 1, bullet 2, bullet 3, and that's it. Like then with some extra. Maybe it's just about 1 page or 1.5 page even. So it's not they don't need all your stories and technically, just highlight, just key points like that. Joseph Daniel is asking, is the use of AI accepted?
Okay, so it's one good thing I like about embassy recommendation is that nobody is going to put it to, I don't know, except if they're going to go the extra length to go and be scanning the documents and be doing AI check. But I don't think that they would, stress themselves. However, please, I've told people when you're using AI should help you. AI should not
do the work.
Yeah, AI should not do the work for you. So when I mean AI should help you, that what you want to do is that type it first, write it first, and then you can ask AI to maybe refine. Because there's a way AI too talks. Maybe because we use AI a lot, so maybe I'm familiar with the way AI talks. But it's like there's a way AI talks. So you want AI because when you type it in, tell AI to refine it in your own words. With your own style of speaking. So the way you typed it in or the way you wrote it in, that's how AI will refine it. But if you just tell AI, I'm applying for MEXT Scholarship and I want you to write a recommendation that would match, maybe like the prompt I gave, and then you go and type it into AI like that using this prompt, create something, it's going to bring out something mechanical. And see, when you go for interview, I've told people, some of the things that make you confident it's not because you're intelligent. No, it's just because you know the subject matter. So you're familiar with the subject matter, not because you know the subject matter. So if you go and you know what you wrote, you are the one that wrote it. When you are speaking, it will show. Because like for instance, like when I went for the interview, they were asking me, I think something about the person from the Scholarship Board of Nigeria. He was like, Shebi, I know that they would prefer that I come back and promote whatever it is that is in my country that I'm supposed to better my country. I was like, and I told them there, I was like, oh, I just recently got interested in in MEXT Scholarship, and I was never really planning to leave Nigeria. However, because I knew that going forward in my work, I will need cutting edge clinical, just the same way I wrote it inside there, because it came from me. It wasn't AI that wrote it. So it was easy to create that. And then, you know, it builds confidence too. So please, just small. Just try and create it small. If you can use that prompt, I'm going to drop on the group. I feel like you wouldn't have issues.
Yeah, the fact remains that AI has come to stay. But there's a way you can use AI, and it will be very clear that you use AI. So you want to use AI to guide you and to assist you, not surrender your agency to AI. It won't make any sense. You know, you want to show that you are becoming a MEXT scholar. That's not a small thing. So you want to show that you are worth being a MEXT scholar. So feel free to use AI, but use it sensibly, use it ethically. Some people use AI and all the, AI has placeholders, and all the placeholders will still be there. So that way you're already out, even if your CGPA is the highest. In fact, one thing I've noticed about MEXT Scholarship is once you have a solid CGPA and you fill your form neatly, those are like the two most important things, sincerely. And then, of course, the exam, just do well there, then go for the interview, and, you've been given the guide. So, but you use AI to just guide and assist you, not to take over your work. Teresa is asking, what location would you say it's best to study and live in Japan? Interesting.
I'm going to leave that for Dr. Dansu and Sabayo. Me, I don't know.
I think I want to summon Sabayo in this case.
Yes. I've not gone anywhere. I'm still inside my house.
Is it still on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone in Nigeria. So regarding the question, I think there is no direct answer. It depends on your interest, and then the speaker today already talked about the weather, very important. So for me, from Nigeria, I do not like cold. So but
when it came to Sendai,
I think my threshold has really increased. So you can use your interest to choose your location. So everywhere is very good in Japan. So it's not like maybe what we are familiar with, that maybe KB is not well developed, then they won't have certain infrastructure. It's very different here. Even if you are schooling, in a very remote area, the standard is the same, the rule is the same. So it depends on interest. But then city brings you close to definitely opportunities. Then you get to meet people from different places. Then if you are in, we call it Inaka. The English word is rural, but it's not the rural like the definition.
Not the kind of rural,
Yeah, so rural that has train and all that. So it's just much more of the population. You may not just have maybe too many people all around you. So it depends on your interest. So I'll just do a quick run through of how the geography of Japan is. So the north part, you have Hokkaido, the Sendai and the likes. It's very cold, very cold. Hokkaido is close to Russia. Then we have the Kyushu, the south, the extreme south, whose weather is can be very hot. Then we have the Tokyo, Yokohama, Nagoya and the likes. They are in the central. So we are neither cold nor hot. So but then in Yokohama we get to have in a year we have maybe snow twice or thrice in a year. But in Sendai, it snows all the times in winter. So it depends on your interest. So then also maybe it's also encouraged that you go, maybe if you have family already somewhere in Japan, it's very good you start from where you people, so that
very wise.
Yeah, so you can change city later on, but then you have a soft landing. So like Esther is really enjoying Dr. Dansu.
I am.
Yeah, so
I am.
that's the best. I mean, that's the best answer I can question. Thank you, sir.
Wow, thank you so much. I didn't know you were going to take it to geography, but that was very helpful. I one thing I also note in MEXT forms, I don't know if they still put it there. The embassy always wants that, if possible, avoid Tokyo, avoid
Kyoto.
Osaka, avoid Kyoto, because those are like the three top, the three big. No, not necessarily the biggest, but they are more like the
competitive
classic Japanese cities. And the reason they warn you against it is that this, number one, the universities are very competitive. Till now, I don't know anybody that, I don't know anybody. Okay, yeah, I don't know anybody that has been admitted to University of Tokyo
Osaka
or Osaka. No, I know Osaka now. Doing is in Osaka. Thank God for people like that. And I don't know anybody. Okay, yeah, no, I know people in Kyoto. Yeah, so actually, you can be admitted into Tokyo and Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. Now, that's one thing. It's competitive. Number one. Number two, the cost of living can be neck breaking. I remember one of the people I know in Kyoto, they are still there right now. Maybe I guess they should be rounding off already. I mean, the lady got the scholarship and the husband joined. One day he had to come in that. So how do you cope with family? And I'm like, this is Sendai now. Sendai is like me. I'm from Lagos, by the way, but I prefer to live in Akure than to live in Lagos. I don't like too boring life, and I don't like too busy. So Sendai is just like that city that is not too quiet, not too busy. It's just in between. It is the 12th largest city in Japan, by the way. So this is my type of city. So like anytime when I was in Futara, anytime I was going to Lagos, it used to be like voila for me, like, oh, I'm going to this Lagos again. Because to move from Akure to Ojota with the final bus stop, the time I will spend from Akure to Ojota is less than the time I will spend from Ojota to Badagry. That would have been just 2 hours away or something. So for me, I don't like those. But interestingly, Tokyo is so organized that even as busy as Tokyo is, you can easily find your way. But it is expensive. The housing is expensive, and things are a bit more expensive there. So, but I know when Bayo was coming, he had a friend. What's his name again? He's in the US now after his master's. Sullivan. So that one, he said he's a city boy, so he went to Tokyo. But they tell him small. But I think he's also he had to augment. So, but me, I don't want. It's better not to worry about money when you come for a program like this, because I've also seen people that will come here and instead of facing their studies, they are thinking about to make more money. It's not bad to make more money, but let's not be at the expense of what you really came in here for, right? So I think that is something to really pay attention to. The questions they are coming in. We have 13 minutes to go, so let's see how much we can take before then. Okay, somebody's asking. So you can live anywhere in Japan, even the villages. Like we have a family in a district of Sendai. We have a homestay family there. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It is supposed to be like a town, not even, it's like a town, but they have everything. In fact, sometimes if you have a nice job, you enjoy your life better.
Yeah.
In a place like maybe Sendai or some other smaller towns than if you live in Tokyo, because you have to worry about. But of course, if you have to be in Tokyo, especially if you're a tech person and most of the tech jobs are in Tokyo, like you've been told already, Osaka and all those places. So yeah, anywhere in Japan is fine, but look at all the things you have talked about. If you have someone there that can ease your landing, is it expensive there and things like that. So you're getting the same. Actually, if you live in some places, you may pay maybe 1,000 or 2,000 yen more than people that live in other places. So they also use location to adjust your pay sometimes. Yeah, Christian Joseph is asking, are we to notarize just one copy and make a photocopy for the remaining 2? Also, please, the only transcript that we should notarize?
No. Every document, yes, you have to notarize just one copy and then make photocopy. But every document that is not the one that MEXT provided, it's not the application form, it's not the placement form, it's not the medical certificate. Anyone that MEXT did not provide and you are adding to your application should be notarized.
Your birth certificate, your school, your certificate, your transcript. If you are married, your marriage certificate. If you have children, your children's birth certificates. All of this should be notarized. Yeah. I also wanted to ask about how do you go about the search for getting the school for the placement form? I already have two struggling to get a third. Okay,
that thing, and it all depends on, as I said, also looking for the location and the interest, your interest. So I did animal science, And animal science is very broad, in as much as okay, agriculture is broad, but then even in the animal science, there's nutrition, there's, you know what I'm talking about. So in the broadness, like there are sometimes that you see like very good faculties, very good professors, good publications, but their interest is not really aligned. So for instance, I can see animal physiology, but I'm looking for animal nutrition. So I spent a lot of time like really researching from university to university, but as I said, AI can make it easier for you. And then you can just, so what you can do, if it's 3, and at the end of the day, it's just one university you go. If you have gotten 2, you can just find maybe one of those other, like, that might not be necessarily your core, but it can still work, like you can still survive there, and then put it, as I said, after the exams and the interview, you will still be given a list to, you know, to communicate with those people, and then you will find, you know, a university to go to. So it's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, with AI, you can have everything in one place. So make use of that. But you need to do some searching. Nothing will be dropped on your laps. Be sure of that. So imagine, for the first time, I really like that your recommendation of print out the guidelines. First, forget about everything. First, print out the guidelines, sit down and take notes of the things you should do. So, and this is going to serve as a serious guide for you. I didn't do that. So when I got that, when you said that, I'm like, wow, this is really wise. So Wilson Ekanel is asking, a professor I contacted from University of Tokyo replied my email that his lab doesn't assist individual students. He then shared the MEXT site with me to apply for the embassy route. The MEXT will reach out to them. And also I should note that I'm going to write entrance exam. This person should go to America. And I should know that I'm going to write entrance exams or something. Please, what does that mean? Since then, I couldn't reply him because I don't even know what more to say, except I made it through the screening.
Yeah, so he just told you exactly what we already said earlier. So he doesn't have the power to do anything. So what he would want you to do is to apply. When you apply, like some lecturers don't even do the interview themselves. Like they would maybe like put it under the scrutiny of the whole lab members. So if you apply and you make it, there's something Sabayo said last time which makes sense. It's like, I have money. Do you want to supervise me or not? That's what it means. Like when you get the scholarship and you're writing to these people to give you acceptance, it's like, I have the money. Do you want to supervise me or not? And who doesn't want to supervise you when you have the money? So there's hardly, except if, of course, they don't have space in their lab, then they will tell you, because it's not like Nigeria that just because you have money, they will collect, you know. They have like a limit of the number of students they can cater for. So if that number is more than that, then they won't take you. So that's just it. So for this kind of lecturer now, nice thing, he responded to you, as Professor Dansu has already mentioned, like if a lecturer in Japan sit down and reply you, that's
you're blessed.
Like, you're blessed. So since he replied you, good, just tell him, you're so grateful that he replied you really appreciate his time, that you will submit your documents to the embassy, and when you're successful, you will get back to him to know the next procedure. That's a simple reply.
Yeah, I think another thing that was said there is once you scale through at the embassy and you land in Japan, you will write, maybe most likely you go through a 6-month Japanese study program, and then you write an entrance exam into the graduate school, but you're already on ground, so you're already in Japan. So you now have options, and you have opportunity to write the entrance exam up to maybe 2 times. So if you don't pass it after 2 times, then but at least the fact that you're already in Japan, you have nothing much to worry about because you're already on ground. So we know people that maybe because they're not able to pass, they move to another university and they pass there or something. So that's the other entrance exam you come to write here. In fact, you may even have to write maybe TOEFL. In my case, I wrote TOEIC. You may have to write IELTS. But since you're already in Japan, everything is easy. You're getting your stipend, so it's easy to pay for all of these things now. Or maybe sometimes the university can even pay for you as a MEXT Scholar. It all depends. So I think I should take care of that. So you have been told everything like as necessary. In the undergraduate guideline, we're asked to choose only from 2 fields of study. Could I migrate to other courses in the future?
It's just like I mentioned, right? They would really prefer it's because it explains that you are focused. You understand? So for instance, you couldn't have been a science student in Nigeria and then you want to move to arts. Do you understand? Like your secondary school was in sciences and then you want to move to arts. So when they mean that you should choose from two places, maybe life sciences and then natural sciences, something like that, because maybe it's still in the sciences. So I think that's just basically what they're saying there.
But the interesting thing is, as a bachelor, if you come in as a bachelor student, after bachelor's degree, you can move to other fields in masters.
Yes.
And then PhD, you can keep switching. Like I give the example of my wife, right? She did maths in Nigeria. For masters, she did management, and for PhD, she did sociology. So they are quite flexible here. But when coming, though, you want to articulate where you're coming from. You want to make sure you are not, you know what exactly you're looking for. I think that helps. Okay, so you can migrate in future after maybe bachelor's degree, but when you're coming in, convince them that you know what you're doing. Yeah, Peter Adepod is asking, should NYC certificates to be notarized? Yes, I just found out that we can add NYC certificates in application. You should, in fact, I think if you don't have NYC, they will not, because there are some Nigerian officials there that will screen you, that will be gatekeeping that, right?
No, but if you don't have NYC yet, like you're 7, like I know people that were 7 when we're doing the application, but they will be done by this, and so you could add maybe call-up letter or something. So if the certificate is not ready, you can add call-up later. But it's all these documents are also not like very necessary. But it's just, see, I've said it, even if it's not MEXT Scholarship you are doing, you want to be as much as possible impress. Like when somebody opens your work, let the person be like, wow, you know, that's something like that.
So imagine two people, they have the same results like you, and they have their NYSC certificate and you don't have yours. It's not because you are not qualified, but they have less stress to deal with. So it's competitive. So you want to come with your A game. So personally, I even advise people that don't apply until you have everything in place. But maybe that's also me pushing it too far. But you know, it's a tough competition, so you want to take care of that. Okay, those are the 3 universities I have in my placement forms. I don't think anything is wrong with that, but you know the implications. Those places are busy, they are competitive, but at least we know people that got into those schools. Then the living expenses is also something like that. So I mean, while you are paying all your money on rent, I could be saving the balance on my own rent, you know. So what about people that are not working but self-employed? Is it a must to submit 2 references? You can get 2 references from your university now.
Yes, but you don't even need to. Like I submitted only 1 recommendation letter. You don't need to use, if you're not working. In fact, even the place where they mentioned what they call it, where they ask you to write about your job. Like if you don't have a job you don't need to put it.
Yeah.
If it's a part-time job you're doing self-employed, you don't need to put it. If it's that you are employed by a place, then put it. But if not, I submitted just 1 and it was fine.
Well, in my case, it was a bit fuzzy because I was already a graduate assistant in FUTA, and I mean that was my place of work, and that was the school where I also schooled. So I got the 2 letters from. I got one from the HOD as a work boss, and then I got one from another professor. Okay. How do we best feel? So in that case, what I'm simply saying is, even if you don't work in a university, you can get the 2 letters from the university you graduated from. Like
maybe one from the HOD, one from your supervisor, or something like that.
Yes, or maybe one from another, maybe a mentor. Like I'm here in Tohoku University, people still ask me for recommendation letters. The concern I only have is I'm not able to sign physically. So I don't know how that works. So what about people that are not working? Okay, how do we best fill the field study portion of the placement form? The courses usually have different names across universities. This is a nice one.
Are we talking about research student now? If you're talking about research student now, yes. So
yes.
you will feel what that particular department is called, or what that particular faculty is called. That's what you feel. So for instance, maybe it's graduate school of agriculture, maybe some is just faculty of agriculture, something like that. So exactly what it's called. So you are feeling not the necessarily the university, just the university name. You are feeling the graduate school. So graduate school of agriculture, graduate school of information science, graduate school of engineering, like that. So that's why you need to do your research. If ChatGPT tells you this university has this professor, go to the sites of the university and go and check what that department is called, what his lab is called, and all that.
Yeah, things really get tricky here, right? You know, when I got to Japan, I was looking for my professor. I went to the maths department. I was sure he was in the maths department. When I got there, they were all drawing blank. Like, who is that? Later, I discovered, the maths department where I did my PhD is under the Graduate School of Information Sciences. So it's Tohoku University. Graduate School of Information Sciences is like another university. It's a small university. That was the same place where my wife graduated from in sociology, same graduate school of information science. So what they do there is everything you're studying is from the lens of information science. So it was different from the regular maths department. In fact, there are other institutes here that they have their own maths department. So you want to make your research and be sure what exactly you are doing. So the same course that you find in agriculture here can be in biology in another school.
It can be in life
or in
sciences.
health sciences or something like that. So, but it's not a problem as far as just make sure the professor, just like you've been told, you don't want to come here and start recalibrating, except if that's really what you want to do. So as far as they align with what you do, some can even be under engineering.
Yeah,
maybe like biotechnology. So just be sure you can work with the person, and that shouldn't be a problem. Just write the university, the name, and all that. Okay. What is the age limit for PhD?
Please, by April 2027, you should not be 35.
Yes.
That's
as far as you are less than 35 by April 1st of the year you are resuming, you are qualified. For me, it was Jegiwale for me. I was only 2 months less than 35 when I resumed. So I thank God when I remember that it was just chodo, like just good. So Ademola Johnson is asking, I have a clear research plan, but really struggling with the methodology. Can I use AI to get the methodology?
Use the lecturer's methodology. Go to the site of the lecturer's publication and go and check the methodologies they use for that type of work and use the methodology. Because AI is too vast, like AI is too wide. You go and see methodology that is not applicable in Japan, or a methodology that is only done in US. It doesn't make sense. Like, go to the site and check the lecturer's work. What are the methodologies they use? I just told you an example that for mine, one of the methodologies I mentioned was a methodology that the lecturer used. And when the lecturer was replying me, he even mentioned that he appreciates how much of their work I studied. Imagine. So because, anyway, even when you come, like, you want to let them be using eye of intelligence.
Yeah, that you know what you are doing.
Yes.
I think Sabayo, I think I'm adopting Sabayo now. I think Sabayo can say something about that. Somebody is struggling to write methodology and I think using AI. Maybe you can give us an engineering perspective.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think the best way to come up with methodology is read so many papers, and then from there, idea will come to you. Some of the idea might not be maybe realistic, but the fact that you've done so many readings, it gives you a kind of foundation such that even when you put anything on Google or on AI, you understand what is going on. So, but by just blindly just throwing something at maybe ChatGPT, and then it gives you an idea, there's something very funny, and I would like to share that. There was a time I used ChatGPT to do something, and then I presented it to my professor. So there's one interesting thing about professors. They're very detailed. So he removed his glass. He looked at it. He looked at me again. He analyzed it very well again. So at the end of that meeting, it came out, you came up using ChatGPT to do this. So if you want to do anything, so first read as many papers, then you can now use, ChatGPT and all that. For me, they are just like advanced search. So they should aid in doing deep search, but then our brains should not be suspended. So if you learn faster, you should be able to get more fitted search. So when you get results, does not mean we shouldn't use our brains. So first, read as many papers as you want to. And what the speaker really advised is very, very important. So pick 2 or 3 papers from that professor's laboratory. The same thing we do when we write code email also. And that's why some code emails don't get response. If you take 3 or 2 papers from that particular professor, spend 2 or 3 days to study. You might not fully understand in details the methodology, but put in the hard work to understand what he has done. Then by the time you are sending a cold email, make reference to those things you've read. If you used ChatGPT to read, I mean, you don't even use it to read it, but just read it.
You can use it to read it.
I mean, there are
notebook LLM,
notebook
LLM can,
so,
summarize
can
and
give you a
compress.
quick, but ensure you understand what you are doing. So, and if you send such code email to that professor, it's going to, just like she testified, he or she is going to appreciate the effort, and they are going to know, actually. They're going to know. Yeah, so whatever you are bringing, if it is not established on the basic engineering principle, and then you are being asked to explain, you can't explain, then don't better push it forward. Because if ChatGPT suggests something to you, I know maybe you are able to deceive them or true. If you get here, you will do that thing that ChatGPT.
You will do it. You do that.
Yeah, so it's let's be careful and be guided. Yeah.
Yeah, like as if I was in the spirit. I just knew that, like, you even have a practical experience. That's serious. Now, I think one thing I've discovered with AI is that the easiest way to expose yourself that you are not good is through AI. So if you can, most of the times, if you cannot define what you have done with AI, then you have to be very intelligent to use AI successfully. I think that's the summary of what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, someone was. I wanted to call this person that was raising his hand. Has your question been answered? Abdul Kasim.
Yes, he has raised it again. I think he got tired.
Okay, please go ahead. Sorry. The hand on time, no worries. Please go ahead with your question, Mustafa.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask the question. My name is Kasim. I'm asking pertaining to the issue of recommendation.
Right.
The field where I'm working on is not normally aligned with my career. But there is another place where I'm working as a part-time, which is actually aligned with my career. So I don't know how am I going to with this, or do you have any suggestion or advice that you are going to give me?
Don't put it. Just leave it.
Like, you shouldn't put the one that is not aligned.
Yeah,
right?
like don't put don't put a second recommendation about your work. Just leave it at that. When you're leaving it at that, it means you're also not putting it in the space on the form where it talks about if you're working or not. Why I'm saying that is because on the scale of things, it doesn't add anything. So just leave
maybe
it.
for two recommendations, you can take the part-time place which aligns, and the one from your university. Maybe, I don't know.
And no, the reason why I said so, because they categorically said it there that if it's a part-time work, it shouldn't be included. Yeah,
nice,
so
nice.
there's no need. There's no. It doesn't change anything on the grand scale of things.
Nice. Okay. Is that good, Al Qasim?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very
much.
We had a Kano guy in my set. I don't know where you're from, but just to spring that in, we had a Kano guy in my set. He's in Hiroshima now.
Interesting. Yes. All right. Okay, Emmanuel Christian, your question. Our time is actually up. I'm sorry we are dragging it this long. Sorry.
And I think there's still many questions in the box, but it's fine.
Yes. I guess we have to answer the rest in the group. So if you have any question that is unanswered, we can continue in the group. So yeah, but Emmanuel, please let's have your question. Are you still there, Emmanuel? Okay, I think it's gone. Okay, in place of that, can we take care of this person? Oh, okay, please go ahead if you're there.
All right.
Okay, please go ahead.
I was asking if successful candidates will be getting the stipend upon arrival, or they will have to come with some money to sustain them.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to come with $2,000 at least. That's what the guideline says. Because when you arrive, you would, for instance, if you arrive in April, you would not get the stipend. So like for me, as I am talking, I have not received any stipend. So but what I'm trying to say is that in principle, and I think that's what they do now, you would not get the stipend till May. So in May, you'll be paid twice. They'll pay you for April, and then they pay you for May. However, the dormitory and some of all those other payments are aware that you have not received your stipend yet. But for your living expenses, like what you will need to do when you arrive, food and maybe clothing, if the place is so cold and you didn't come with, you will need some money. It doesn't have to be up to $2,000. Maybe $1,000, 1.5 should do.
All right, thank you. Very appreciate.
Yeah, the embassy usually advises that you come with $2,000 if you can, but sometimes some people cannot. They don't even have anything like. So and that's why I remember in our set, they have this kind of ranking based on your CGPA and how you fill the form. So I was like number 4 on that list. The number 1 guy, he had someone in Kobe who told him not to worry about the whole living thing. So he just came and the person sorted him, and when he got paid, he started refunded or something like that. So that also helps.
It's also nice. If you have somebody, you can just go where that person is. Like, it will help you a lot.
In my case, I came with just $1,000, but they paid us first month in April. So until you came, I didn't even know they've started paying 2 months at once. Like they'll pay you after 2 months. In our case, they paid April, so I didn't really understand this. And I came with only 1,000. But if you can afford $2,000, if you can come $2,000, it's fine too. Yeah. So, but I mean, once you can get in here, you should be good overall. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, because our time is fast spent, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give like I'll just give like 1 sentence answers to all the questions so that we won't keep taking time. So that I would have touched all the questions here. So this person is saying, is it okay? Okay. Many questions don't enter still, Abego.
Yes, many questions. That's what I was saying.
Okay. So I'll just run. As a physics bachelor's holder, is it possible to apply for a course in education technology or related? Well, since technology is there, I think physics can go well with that, because these days there's a lot of overlap in these things. So I think, yeah, you should be fine. That technology makes the connection. Thank you for this great opportunity. I don't know if this question has been addressed already. My question is, when will the application for MEXT Scholar 2026 start? The form is out already. That's why we are here. So if you have not seen that, go to the Embassy of Japan website. Embassy of Japan in Nigeria, not Tanzania or South Korea, please. Embassy of Japan in Nigeria. You download all the forms there, and then you follow all this guidance. So it's out already, and it is going to close, I think, May 30th, June 30th or something.
June 8th.
June 8th. So you have a very short time, like less than 1 month. Thank you very much for your time, sir, madam. God bless you all. Amen. Israel, again, this particular phase of the application, is it just for research students? Yeah, this particular one is for research students,
undergraduates,
for Institute of Technology, undergraduates. I think those 3 categories. Is teacher training there too?
No. Teacher training is
separate. Yeah, I think people going to Institute of Technology, like maybe all this polytechnic kind of thing. But I think it is still with bachelor's degrees though. But I don't know if they take HND or something. I'm not sure of that. So I think this 3: research students, undergraduates, and Institute of Technology. So like now we are in Tohoku University here, but there's a Tohoku Institute of Technology in Yagiyama, for instance. So lastly, is it okay for someone who studied library and information science applying to do masters in information technology? Definitely. Yeah, that's information science. Just find somebody that aligns with you. My research plan is robotics related, yes, and I have kind of started and gotten it. This person should go to America. Can my research plan include what I have done, or should it not mention it? It should include it now, because it's already your field. Like you are coming, you don't have too many things to figure out when you come, because you're already working in that line. I also have a clear roadmap of how the project to turn out, of course. So when you come, just be sure that your professor wants it to turn out the way you want it to turn out too. So you don't have to align your interests in that case. Emmanuel just asked this one. So the last thing I want to do is that all the videos we've ever made on scholarships, we have done. This is the second video on MEXT, that we are doing. There's also, we have done for America, we've done for Hungary, we've done for
Hong Kong,
Hong Kong, and all of that. And we still have more coming. So if you want to be up to speed with that, first of all, this is my YouTube channel. You want to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then, of course, I do other things, like I teach maths and everything. So that's the YouTube channel, first of all. Then so when you get there, you can click on playlist. You find so many videos on mathematics, on data science, on what is it called now? On scholarships. I'm trying to pull up the playlist of all the videos you have ever made on different scholarships, because it's sure that not everybody will come in for MEXT. Some of you might end up going to Hong Kong, some might go to the US. I remember in our time when we went for the screening, when we went for the the test in Abuja, there was this person from FUTA who came in with us, and he didn't get the MEXT scholarship. But guess what? But while we were still waiting, MEXT is like Indian film. So when we're still waiting for response from MEXT, right? This guy got a scholarship in India, and he traveled to India in 2016. And us that got MEXT, we have to wait till April, But of course, if I have an Indian scholarship and a Japan scholarship, I'll go for Japan for sure, because the difference is very clear for sure. So, okay. So now for the specific playlist on past scholarships, I've shared the link now. And somebody is asking about how to join the group. A lot of people have joined in the course. So I'm going to pull up the link again for the opportunities with EJD group. I'm going to share that right now. So I've shared my YouTube channel. Subscribe and check for the videos. Then lastly, so I've also put the link for opportunities with EJD group. Our speaker has a YouTube channel, and she has a lot of resources up there, and for instance, she's currently teaching Japanese. So if you can start learning Japanese before you go for it, that will give you some leverage.
It will give you leverage, because
exactly. So you want to follow, and she shares things about studying and how to pass exams and things like that. So I've shared her YouTube channel, and she's known as Coach Osi, Osijinore. Coach Osi on YouTube and on TikTok. So follow her, subscribe to her channel, follow her, engage with her content and all of that. And she's on TikTok too. If TikTok is your place, I've put the 2 links. So feel free to do all of that. So now you have my YouTube channel and the link to the former videos. You have the link to the opportunity to EJD group and Coach OC's YouTube page, and of course TikTok page. On this note, we say, can you say something again? Can you do something for our speaker? Use your best emoji. Appreciate her. Type something in the text. Thank you very much. We are very pleased to have you. Thank you, because you're our star girl, lower. Thank you for the current information as it is hot. Because if I had taken this, there are many missing links, because it's been 9 years already. And thanks, Sabayo. Thank you very much for all you do. Thank you for bringing up other people. A time is going to come. We are going to have it's going to be like, so you see, sometimes maybe somebody just becomes president of Nigeria and they start bringing people from everywhere. You'll be wondering, where did they meet themselves? And this is us here. So I'm from Badagry in Lagos State. OC is from Kogi State. Bayo is from Ondo State. And we are potential ministers for anybody who becomes president among us already. So that's how these connection things work. So, and as you get up, keep drawing other people. You never can tell how this network is going to work out at the end of the day. So once again, thank you very much for attending. So we always come up with opportunities, like maybe it is for job or scholarships and things like that. I'm currently thinking about bringing up somebody to talk about how teaching English in Japan, because I know people who are interested in that. So once that's happening, you'll be informed, especially if you're on our WhatsApp channels. Yeah, Newton is saying, God bless you all for your time and support and love. Amen. Thank you so much. So see you. This is edition 10. See you in edition 11. And let our discussions continue in the WhatsApp groups. So there we have people sharing information about all kinds of scholarships. So you want to make use of the opportunities. You also want, if you have any question, feel free to ask me. There are people there who have been through some of these things, and they can also answer your questions. Thank you very much for attending, and thank you for being in the group. God bless you, Coach OC. Thank you very much. You've just started the journey. It will be a sweet one. You have great testimonies by God's grace, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, everybody. See you later. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. It's 12 a.m. here already. Sorry for keeping you up. I know you don't sleep early, but sorry that on our account we are keeping you up this late. Thank you.
Yes,
bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.